Hello folks, Boober here. Our net Bundesliga is usually at the mic. Here's some Commander action for you this time around, or you could call this EDH. Um, yep. So, two couple of very weird decks for a spin. Not mine. On the left, that's Merieke Berit, or you could just say an Esper Colors control deck. Though it's a bit on the weird side. And then a pretty straightforward, a little bit maybe busted Augustin deck with pretty much everything you expect from the deck, and maybe a little bit more. But Welsh deck was pretty solid, so I sped up I think the tape, I think 50% or something, just so that it's not as not as stretched. Just one game, I think. But it did took a while because, this what happens when you take a player who is not really familiar with the deck and the format and the game is a super much. But well, he did his best. I think he tried to stay focused and try to pay attention to every detail. But yeah, there's going to be some really weird stuff happening in this match, but you'll see it. So he's inspecting his hand, a lot of really good value spells and so on. And I think I'm not sure if we're playing with the poker mulligan here, but you'll see. So he has a brainstorm, which is definitely something nice to find some acceleration or extra land. Not sure if image is something he wants to keep, because he knows he plays against Augustine, so I'm not very likely to have something worth copying very quickly. Did he keep just a one lander? Seems like it. So I started off with a Soul Ring, which is like a very busted start, and he had to read that because, well, while I'm sort of familiar with Commander, and the fact that Soul Ring is like pretty much the best thing you could start with. But yeah, so let's play a game of spotting things my friend on the left here did wrong. First of all, he kept a one-lander, but there was a branch there. Even let's say we didn't play with a poker mulligan rule, but we probably anyway had the free mulligan to 7 thing going on. Okay, here's a brainstorm. Main phase, which is probably okay because by default his second land is Gemstone Mine, which is something you don't want to do. Okay, I see Dark Lake Shores. So he's probably gonna keep that, I hope. The Twin Cast and Revelation are terrible, yeah, sure. Okay, that was actually his land for the turn, so yeah. But with his hand, I don't think it matters what he would have chosen, because he doesn't want to put the lands last. As for me, I just had a Colonnade tapped. I just don't think I had another land there. Perhaps I just had some cantrip, also like a brainstorm of my own. He leads off with the Gemstone Mine, which is super weird. I don't think he had to do that. He knows his top cards. Okay, he has the Signet, which is good, which I would have played it now if I was him. So he would have, yeah, he should have played the Shores here and not the mine. Okay, I had the brainstorm. But yeah, so I guess I didn't have uh, other lands than that Colonnade that turn, so that's why I let off with that, because otherwise it makes sense to, try to play Augustin. Okay, so now I can play Augustin here, but I think I had a better plan in mind. Even though Augustin would be quite okay, of course. Yeah, so the problem with this Esper deck, as we later found out, was the fact that it was very light on mana stones. There wasn't even a Soul Ring in the deck, and it should be in pretty much every commander deck. Same for Monobolt, which I just cast now, and the Mana Crypt. And one of my friends actually thinks that those three cards should be banned in the format because they pretty much have to be in every deck. Well, except for maybe no. Mono Red is terrible in multiplayer unless it's Perforos, in which case you do want all of those mana stones. Just that in Dual Commander or French Commander, Mono Red doesn't have to play all those things. So tapped Vault, go for Jace, and Fate Seal him. So it was kind of like playing Augustin in a way, because what I wanted to do was, while he didn't have anything significant on board, I wanted to, start face sealing any potential lands from the top of his deck to the bottom, and also kind of starting the win condition chain. Because if he doesn't draw any, Vindicate type of stuff, then the earlier I get Jace going, the better. Okay, I had a 1 mana floating. I thought about the the enchantments, the one that makes for 4 flyers if he didn't hit me for too long. Okay, I'm not sure what was the argument here. I guess I was just, while I'm at it, I should go Oblivion Ring onto his signet, if I had the chance, just to cut him off of all potential outs. Even if he gets unmaking or anything along those lines, to get rid of the chase, then, well, he would have to draw a land and draw the answer. But he Brainstorm, but I don't know what he got off that Brainstorm. Okay, he can still have Darkslick Shores untapped, but he should have played it the turn before. Damnation is awesome, and the fact is awesome, but I just had a super busted start. So this is one of the reasons why sometimes you feel kind of like not cheated, but just not in your game. And well, let's say he had a what can I say, answer right off the top. Well, he should actually pay life with this probe here, because I think he doesn't know his top card. Okay, looks like I have... Is it Future Sight? I'm not sure. I think it's one of those weird cards from Commander sets. Oh, I don't remember. Well, I know that the Luminarch Ascension is the one that, if he doesn't hit me for 3 turns, then it's charged up, and then I can start spawning 4 flying tokens. The other card I can't remember right now for some weird reason, even though it's only been few days since we recorded this. Okay, he has that counter spell that lets us both draw cards. It is good, but not when I have already a Jace out, so that's the point. So the Volt doesn't untap. I take some pain. So we're supposed to Volt here. Or no, I just took one from the Volt. Yeah, right. That's what happens. That's what happens. Okay, so I'm going for Ascension. Tapping a little bit weirdly. Perhaps just because it doesn't matter. Okay, I didn't know about this counter in his hand, but that's okay. His jumps in mind goes to 1. So I'm still firmly ahead. But he had to counter this, I think. Because if he hadn't had an answer to Jace, he probably doesn't have an answer with Resolved Ascension as well. Not exactly sure what is that. We'll see with the effect. I think it's the new picture of the propaganda. Well, it's the basically blue iteration of the Ghostly Prison, so it's that card. I think it doesn't really matter in here, but because I think I only had 3 manas left over, so might as well cast it this turn. Might as well. The Esper deck doesn't really have, haste threats. I don't think so. Well, Resto kind of classifies, I guess, in a way. Yeah, his hand is pretty decent against a mid-range creature-based deck, but against control is just, just to run half of the deck. And the turn, Twin Cast would have been good in multiplayer, of course. But now he just doesn't have time. So, when decks like this play against each other in a duel format, then, yeah, things get ugly. So buff would have been somewhat mitigated at a big table with more players, because then my mana stones will probably get destroyed, or my Jace will be countered or attacked by some of the players. So yeah, let's just say that when people start playing one-on-one with commander decks that are designed for multiplayer setting, then lots of weird things happen, and things don't line up as much. Please forgive me having things upside down here, because I think I was just trying to to make him be able to read the cards more or less better, because pretty much everything I played here would have been sort of new to him. Okay, this is the 4-mana enchantment that says basically, I think, artifact, creatures, and lands come into play tapped. So this means that even if you would draw another land, it will come tapped, so he would have less mana to operate. Yeah, he's a bit anxious here because his situation is looking pretty terrible, and yeah, this kind of games don't make up for most enjoyable experience, but I'll just say that if he drew a few more lands here and there, if he had an answer to Jace, then we would have had a real game, because then it will be a bit, more drawn out and a bit more balanced, but he just drew all the wrong spells. And they would have been okay if we had, like, more people playing. For example, Twin Cast would possibly copied like a lightning bolt or something that would have helped with the Jace or things like that, or just copy some draw spell or a ram spell or something. Not particularly in this way, but yeah. Okay, Lotus Battle is way worse than a land here, of course, because With the next use, he's gonna lose the gemstone mine. So that's rather annoying. Yeah, having stuff like Phantasmal Image and Damnation would have made his day against anything that's creature based, basically. But nope. Okay, so he's casting Resto main phase, which is super weird. And he actually couldn't have done that because Petal came into play tapped. And also, he probably would want to do that at the end of my turn, so that I wouldn't be able just to bounce the Resto with the chase. So that's another easy mistake to avoid. I mean, yeah, it's an easy mistake and it's easy to avoid it. Okay, meanwhile I don't really have troubles with mana, but outside of Jace I don't really have much going on. But as long as I keep him kind of hindered and slow down his development, then the ultimate's just gonna do its job. So, yeah. But the point is that there could be quite a few answers to this chase, but doesn't seem like it. Yeah, Liliana is so useful right now. I don't even know why it's in the deck in the first place. It's kinda weird. Doesn't really do much. It's a control deck at mid-rangey. I think Lily is way better than, in creature-based decks. Okay, he's casting it now, which is again a mistake. He has to wait. Maybe he just doesn't care at this point already. I just untap the vault end of turn. I just untap the vault end of turn. Yeah, I'm explaining him just when and what happened at which point. So I don't take damage from the vault, but that's fine. So now I have quite a bit of mana. Okay, I still keep on Fate Sealing him. I suppose I have an answer to this Resto. Well, at the very least I have Colonnade to block. But maybe I had something. Okay, land for a turn. Oh, what is coming up next? Oh yeah, he'll have to pay 2 to actually attack the Jace because of that other enchantment at the top of your screen. So that is like what, 3 plus C5 plus 7 mana. Or the vault? No, the vault gives 3, right? 5 and 2. Okay, maybe I just kept 2. I kept 1 floating, I suppose, because I delved 2, so I should have 1 careless floating here. So yeah, Dick should find me maybe some removal or some counter for the next thing he would try to do here. Or what is it? I just lost the Jace this turn, and it's at 13. I just need to prevent him from connecting with the Resto. No, I don't have mana, like, to keep the Colonnade up. So I have to find something. But it's hard to miss on interactions like this with a control deck. Okay, using the floating mana to cast the top. And now he's like, what the hell? It's like, well, Japanese or like Chinese language top, and we explained to him what it does. So we asked a friend so that he would confirm what it does. And don't get weirded out by his stats. He has a few, and there's nothing offensive about it. He's just a metalhead, and well, it's just a truck driver, but a pretty nice guy. So did I find a way to stop the resto from connecting? Because if I do, then the Jace ultimates next turn, and that's about it. So as you can see, like apart from Jace, I didn't have much going on actually, but it was enough because it's a win condition in itself. Okay, so I just copy his resto, and that's about it. So he'll have to pay to just to be able to attack. So he likely won't have a removal for the resto. But if let's say he would draw something like, what is it, Snuff Out? Yeah. But to pay alternative cost for Snuff Out, he would need to have a Swamp in play, as far as I remember. But yeah, like, sometimes you can go mental magic and figure out that there are always some outs. There's sometimes just like round draws. He can phantasmal image my resto, but the point is that he needs some way to interact now. Python Needle Revoker maybe would have done it if I had no extra support cards, so if I would be, let's say, forced to bounce Revoker with Jace or something like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a little bit weird, but I hope in the future I'll have more interesting Commander and Highlander matches. Well, some Highlander matches are gonna be coming your way in the next few tapes. So stay tuned until the next sale. Goodbye, folks.